We are continuing our week-long look at Greater Idaho, the movement to move the border and make Idaho bigger or make Oregon smaller, depending on how you look at it. It would affect Oregon, I should say, by almost 70% of their landmass just gone. Not the coast, at least not yet. 11 of Oregon's 15 eastern counties have already agreed to consider this border change, but the idea hasn't gotten too far in either of our legislatures. What has moved a lot is the cultural divide between those living on either side of the Cascade Mountains. In part two, our sister station in Portland spoke with a board member for the Greater Idaho movement. Here's Pat Doris from KGW's The Story.
You know, Oregon when I was a child, was a great place. There was a lot of money for schools because most of it was timber money. And the timber taxes supported the schools and the counties and everything. This was a prosperous state at that time. And then we started getting into the spotted owl and all of the controversy with that.
In the late 1980s and early 90s, timber harvests did change. A 2017 report from a group called Headwater Economics noted that Grant County alone lost at least $30 million in timber earnings during the years 2001 through 2014. These days, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, the median household income in Grant County is $51,100 per year. As of 2021, Grant County had 7,272 people. It's 94% white. The median home price is $160,000. 90% have at least a high school degree. 17% have a bachelor's degree or above. Gilson said she loves her community. Her roots run deep in Oregon. But her small-town lifestyle kept her from ever feeling connected to the west side of Oregon or its big cities.
I mean, I started driving when I was 5 years old because we were raised on a farm. I started working full-time in the hayfields when I was 8 for the summers. The high school I went to closed if there was a major branding at one of the ranches because we all went to work. You know, hunting season shut down the school for a week. It's just a different lifestyle out here, not bad or you know.
Not judging one that's better than the other, but
just different.
Another sign a relationship is crumbling is when one side believes the other no longer has their best interest in mind. They lose trust in the relationship. They begin to watch for evidence to back up the feeling.
Good afternoon. The House will come to order.
I watched last year as Tina Kotek was the leader of the House. And she said, I am going to work with the Republicans to set up the new districts. And then it got time to do it, and she said, no, I don't think so. It would make me question whether it's possible. I mean, she had all right to do that. But it made us all feel like this side doesn't get listened to.
That actually happened in 2021, not last year. It came during congressional redistricting when voting boundaries were changed in Oregon, as they are every 10 years. But Sandie is correct. It did happen. More signs of a failing relationship, different values, and an imbalance in power.
You know, it's been 40 years since we've had a Republican government, you know, and there's been the feeling of it walking away from the values that we hold out here, the family values, the taking care of our neighbors and being able to care for ourselves. Those values seem to be pushed aside in the Oregon government, and more that the government's here to take care of you and tell you what to do, versus you get to live your life and the government's here to provide the services that are needed to support you in that.
Is there any chance of reconciliation in your mind? Is there anything the state could do that would make you change your mind?
Move your government out here and live here. See what it's like for us out here. But I don't think that there's the willingness to do that. I don't think we don't have delivery pizza. We don't have, you know, you have to be totally and completely self-sufficient out here. And a lot of people that live in the cities can't. It's a totally different lifestyle. and a value system that's totally different.
The governor's talking about doing a listening tour. You think that would make any difference to you?
We welcome the opportunity to speak with the governor. We would love to have an opportunity to sit down and speak with her like we are speaking now and having a conversation that was equal give and take on both sides. Do I think it would change anything? No.
And it wouldn't make you feel heard?
No.
I asked Sandie if it would matter if the state tried harder to limit the impact of statewide laws that may not fit well in rural Oregon.
Maybe, but I think Oregon has gone too far to where they can't come back. I don't think, and nor would I want them to. They have a right to live their life the way they want to live it. I'm just asking to live my life the way I want to live it under a government that I feel will allow that.
And you don't think the current government will?
No.
Why do you think Idaho would?
Idaho has more of the values we have. Idaho is more conservative, is more rural. We match Idaho better in just populations, county density, county areas, the type of industries that we have here. It's just a match in so many of those ways.
It's kind of like a mirror, Oregon and Idaho right now, right? Things happening on the opposite side. We're continuing our Greater Idaho series tomorrow with a stop in the only two cities in Harney County. It's where 63% of the people voted for Greater Idaho, but not the owner of one of the pot shops there. Greater Idaho would have a great impact on her business.